guys, it's Kathleen from Bailey Academy, mom of 5, homeschooling 3 of them, ages 11, 14, and 17. Today's a collaboration video with Davene from Calm in the Chaos Homeschool and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool, and we're talking about our math picks for homeschool for the 2025-2026 homeschool year. Our year doesn't start till September, but I do already have our math picks picked out because it's the same thing we've been using for this year. And that is the Learn Math Fast system. This is volume 4, but just I have talked I've talked about this before. But first, I just want to let you know that collaboration means that other homeschool YouTubers will be talking about their math picks for the 2025-2026 homeschool year as well, and making videos, and we're all linking together in a playlist that you can find in the description. So after you watch this video, you go to the description and there'll be a link to the playlist, and then you can go and watch all the other videos and see what everybody's choices are, so that you can see the different options and kind of make your own choice from there, or just, see what other math curriculums you're not using are like. Okay, so again, that playlist will be in the description. Alright, so Learn Math Fast. I have 2, I think, videos about Learn Math Fast, or at least one. I will link them in the description as well, so you can see them. So I have an unboxing where I pull all the materials out that I received from Learn Math Fast, and also one about tips on how to use it for multiple children. Yes, so I definitely have 2. So first of all, I just want to say I did receive Learn Math Fast system from the publisher or creator, whatever you want to call them, to test out, but the fact that we've been using them for over a year tells you, and we're using them for next year, tells you that I am not just promoting them because of that. So we have been loving this, but I do things slightly differently than it says for some things, and so I want to explain more about the system in case you haven't seen a lot about it, but also explain what we do. Sorry. So Learn Math Fast comes in 7 books. The earlier books, number 1 is thicker, and then this is 2 and 4 are a little thinner, and then they get a little thicker again when you get into like algebra and stuff like that. It is not based on grades, so it's not grades 1 through 7. Book 1 starts at the very, very beginning, like kindergarten math. This means 1. This 1 penny or 1 circle means 1. What does 1 mean? What is 1 plus 1? Very basic kindergarten math. And book 7 is I can't remember which order they're in, but basically it goes up to typical high school math. So algebra 1, algebra 2, and geometry it includes as well. And so your child can go through all of their years of homeschooling math with the system. If you enjoy it, of course, you can use the whole system. Also, it is used for catching up on math, which is what we used it for. So my now grade 12 last year and grade 11 was having trouble with her higher math because it was requiring her to do things that she didn't remember or somehow missed during COVID learning. And so we started the system with book 1. Yes, kindergarten math. Well, you're supposed to start with do all the books. So she did kindergarten math. Obviously, she progressed through it very, very fast. And then the book 2 and book 3 and so on. And she did find things that she hadn't learned or in a different way than she had learned. And so that was really cool. I can't remember specifically. It was something about percentages, doing like 20% of a number or something like that, or 50%, or not 50%, that's too easy. 85% of a number. An easy way to figure that out, and I can't think of what it is at the moment. But she taught it to me, and we're going to be going through it again with my youngest daughter soon. So hopefully, maybe after my 3rd child, it'll stick in my head. So she found things that she missed or didn't remember, and so that was helpful. So she progressed through the books fairly quickly. The beginning-ish of last year, she started book 1, and she finished book 7 by the end of the year. So she was able to get all the books in 1 year. But she was also in grade 11. My grade 8 right now is currently on book 4, which I brought as one of the ones I brought. And this is geometry, not like high school geometry, but regular geometry. And so it comes with a geometry kit. It has a protractor and some a ball to show what a sphere is. I don't know, we haven't used it all yet. We just started geometry, so all we use so much as far as the protractor mostly, and like the triangle to show like the different types of triangles and stuff like that. So it has a little kit that comes with it, and so far we're liking it. And I like that it's all combined, so all the geometry is in one book as opposed to a little bit of geometry every year, which is, so it's more of a, I guess it's more of a mastery based then. Yeah, so all the fractions and decimals are in one book, all the geometry is in another book, algebra 1 is another book, that sort of thing. So it's mastery based. So what we do is, my kids have trouble with retention and also with understanding. Like, it's designed so that the student can read the book themselves if they're old enough, and do the worksheets. First of all, we don't write in the book so that each child can use it. So we write on something else or use a whiteboard. But yeah, it's designed, for example, this one's about polygons. So it's very, this is a little bit of color, but mostly it's black and white. There's almost no color in the book. So it's very straightforward. Tells you about polygons and how they all work and what they mean and so on. And then there's a worksheet. Or the, and I just lost the bookmark. Or the volume 2 is, for example, multiplying mixed numbers. See, there's no color. But it's designed, it says, like, next we will learn how to multiply mixed numbers. It's not quite the same as addition and subtraction, but close. With multiplication, you must convert each mixed number into an improper fraction before you can multiply. And it goes into examples and stuff, so it talks directly to the student. And so that's how it's designed. However, my kids, even though they're older, have trouble with, I'm talking about the grade 5 and grade 8, they have trouble following the book themselves. So what we do is we work on it together, teacher and student one-on-one. And so I will read the book to them, and I will point out, like, I'll have it facing them, read the book sideways, point out the examples, make sure they're following along, make sure they're understanding it, go back and read it again if they're not. And I should say I read the book, but that's not true. For the earlier ones, I kind of just teach, but I read, like, it's hard to explain. I'm teaching it the way the book teaches it. So if I add extra words, I guess, because I understand the math. So I'm like, it's really hard to explain, but it works for me. So if you are not as good at math, read directly from the book, or have your kid read directly from the book. If you are good at math, then if you want to add a little instruction in, that works too. And there's no guideline. Hiccups. There's no guideline like you don't have to finish book 3 by, the end of the school year, I think. So my children will, at the end of the school year, will finish wherever they are and pick up wherever they are the next year. Although, since we do summers off, what I plan to do is kind of a review of the earlier, like, there is tests, so, like, I'll do tests from the earlier chapters and of the book that they're in, and if they are completely lost, like I said, my kids have trouble with retention, then we'll go back and we'll give a quick review. So one way that I've been doing review is you could just go back, especially since if you don't write in the book, you could just do it again. But the other way I do it is just find more free things online. And I believe I learned that the website, the Learn Math Fast website, has some printable worksheets too. So I really could print off I think, don't quote me on that, but I think I could go and print off the worksheets and then use them for more than one student. But yeah, this is not how I do it. My kids like to write on whiteboards a lot and makes the math a lot more fun. So I recommend that if your kids are really struggling with math, whiteboards make it more fun. There's actually, I'll link in the description too. There is a pack. Well, okay, I bought them on Amazon.ca, but I'll link them to Amazon.com, and you can find your own local Amazon if you're not in the U.S. But it's a pack of 6 handheld whiteboards. It comes with 6 markers. The markers are not very good. We bought Expo markers, but 6 erasers. So we have 6 whiteboards and 6 erasers. I only have 3 children, so I didn't need 6, but it was cheap enough that it was worth the price if they get damaged or the dog eats them, which is entirely likely to happen, then I will have extra whiteboards. If I need a whiteboard, if my older daughter's joining us, whatever, I have extra whiteboards. So that's helpful. So I'll link that in the description too, just in case you want to get some whiteboards to use with math. So I'm not sure if you have any questions about Learn Math Fast, especially if you've already watched the other 2 videos, let me know and I can give you more information. But I definitely like the system. It's even good for adults. So if you're, and like I said, if you're an adult who is not very good at math and you really want to catch up so that you're more able to help your children, then you could use the Learn Math Fast system, say, over the summer, or, you know, until you're, like, working through it as your kids are just starting with it. You know, you by the end of, well, assuming you don't school at summer, I guess, the end of summer, you might be at book 4 or 5, and they starting book 1, and catch yourself up so that you know fractions and you know pre-algebra and algebra and stuff, so you can better help your kids. But if you don't get there, that's okay too. The book teaches the children completely. So anything else I want to say about Learn Math Fast? So yeah, we plan to use it for the rest of their school years. So like I said, with some alterations, like additions. We took a break the last 2 weeks from the Learn Math Fast. I haven't been doing as much school with them from personal health issues, and so I just found it easier to use a bunch of free worksheets that we found that we had, and I just want to use them so they could be recycled and be done with it. So we used a bunch of those and stuff like that. Plus my son was learning how to measure angles with a protractor and was having trouble with that, so I found like a free thing. Actually, I don't think it was free, but it was like a really cheap online game where like it was just a bunch of cards of angles, and so he used his protractor and measured over and over and over again until he got it. So like, you know, I add stuff in, but it's mostly we definitely could only use the Learn Math Fast program and we would be perfectly fine. I'm not sure of anything else to say because it's not like I have different math for the different children. Oh, I guess like next year I will only have 2 children, so my grade 12 will be graduating this year, so I only don't have to worry about her math. But she this year has been using jensenmath.ca. I've mentioned them a few times. It's a Canadian site, but it's not like Canadian math or something. Like you can use it if you're in the States or any other country, as far as I know, other than maybe like I know sometimes Canadian math includes Canadian measurements, but this isn't measurements. I'm talking high school math, but above Algebra 2. So she's doing vectors and she needs to do calculus. She's doing functions and she needs to do calculus and vectors, and it has data management too. So grade 9 through 12 type advanced math, I guess. Might have regular math. I don't know. We use it for the advanced math. And it's just videos and worksheets that you can print off and use. And so there's no like teacher to help you, but it's completely free. I mean, it's free. And for advanced math, you don't really find that. So that's a good choice if your child needs to take calculus or something like that and you just don't have the funds for a who knows how expensive calculus course. So jensenmath.ca, I will link that in the description too. I hope I remember all these things. And so that is what we are using for math for the 2025-2026 school year or homeschool year. And so just a reminder that in the description, besides all the links to all the things I talked about, including the Learn Math Fast system, I'll add that too, and the other videos I posted, whatever else I said. I will also be linking again to the playlist so that you can hopefully like this video and you can like or subscribe if you haven't already. But whether you do or not, check out the playlist and see all the other homeschool YouTubers that are talking about their math curriculum choices. And that is it for now. Goodbye.